Has a sort of a... I will go the way I desire. It has a sort of Pompeii-esque vibe to it. Yeah, lots of little shells of homes, shops, whatever. Again, you know my belief, there is no such thing as stone or brick or whatever. It all comes from organic matter. So this would have all been mud at some point. That's the only way it could have been feasibly constructed. Of course, if you construct a fort for defence, you're defending yourself against an opposition that exists. You don't defend yourself against an opposition that you think might exist in several hundred years, because that's how bloody long it would take to build this if this was all made of fucking stone. It's all been petrified, of course. And, yeah, which makes perfect sense with the terraces as well. Very interesting there. And what are you defending against? I've always told people, same with the Serbia video. If you haven't seen the last version of this video, you can go back onto my channel and have a look. It's a long tangent, I promise you, but you might find it enlightening, or you might not, who knows. These were not to defend against people, okay? Very logically, it is, illogically, it is stated that castles are formed in positions of strategic importance. Now, that's not untrue, but what is ridiculous is everything of value is always in the valley. The water's in the valley, unless you have a very, very deep well boring system. Generally speaking, the wealth is in the valley. The crops, if it's mining rigs are set up for gold, tin, whatever, that's all usually in a place that is accessible for most people. Not always with respect to mining, I understand, but it doesn't really matter with the point I'm about to make. What the fuck are you defending against up here? What do you think an army is going to come along and think, oh fuck, this chieftain and his tribe are up in that massive, monumental, clad, defensible, fucking hilltop fortress. Let's march up there and get completely slaughtered. Because, just look at it. Of course not. You're just going to continue on pillaging the land. It's just ridiculous. You take value from so many other things, which don't have fortifications on the top of the hill forts. What are the Mayans or the Incas or the Spanish or the British or whomever held forts? What are they going to do if they're up here in their redoubt, so to speak? And then all of a sudden, a huge army comes along and is like, fuck it, let's just continue on. Because the forts were never built, for the most part, some of them were, but these forts were never built for defence against the city, the town, the lands, whatever. They were built for defence, most likely, against water, against cataclysm. It was a position to, and hence the terraces, to prevent the erosion of their existence from an anticipated flood. That's my opinion. And perhaps it was prolonged rainfall that was slowly building up and up and up and up and up, hence the terrace formations to prevent the erosion. And that's why everyone kept ascending to the highest points throughout the world. And then eventually, of course, it all dried out and everyone resettled back down in the valleys, which is why, as well, we have examples like so-called Atlantis and things that are found often in the deep echelons of oceans and seas. Because at one point there was a civilization down there and they all ascended up onto the peaks to evade the Great Flood and then settled back down in the now dry sediment which would contain under it, probably hundreds and hundreds of meters down, the original civilizations. And perhaps this has been going on since the dawn of time, layer after layer after layer. That's my perspective on it.